impact, ironic answer. So Dwight is at his wits' end for whatever reason about this, and he goes, "You're going to either wind up in that room or hanging on the fence." And Daryl says,
But I thought there was a third option. Couldn't I be you? Wasn't that one of the, you could be them or me or them?
Well, you could be the points. He didn't give the point system another examination.
Is that one of the thems?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that room would be him. Hanging on the fence would be them. Working for points would be the other them.
Right. Can I be me? Is that an option?
No. You got to be Negan, a points guy, or zombie. All right. There is no fucking door number 4.
Okay, now it makes perfect sense.
Maybe we need another 5-minute scene of Negan to explain it, because clearly you've missed a few parts. So Daryl says, "Look, I get why you did it. You were thinking about someone else, and that's why I can't." Which
I don't buy it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this whole episode has kind of convinced me that Daryl's not thinking of anybody but himself and revenge and fucking up Negan.
Yep.
So, like, I don't get it. I don't understand this response. Like, maybe I will come to appreciate and understand it, but him saying, like, that's why I can't, clearly that should be him thinking about all of Alexandria.
Right.
But the whole episode, he's been acting as if that didn't matter. He didn't learn the lesson, so...
I mean, is he talking about Glenn here?
I think, because that's what you're supposed to... It's like, he saw Glenn's, and now he's... But what does that mean? Because he's still resisting. Like, I think if I was Daryl, wouldn't the smart play to be, like, to do the false conversion?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say, and I'm going to wait for my time, and I'm going to strike when the... I mean, shit, Negan almost gave me... I could probably kill them. I think he could have taken, like, just surprise Negan, kick him in the nuts, bite him in the dick.
Yeah.
Then you're just one-on-one versus Dwight while Negan's incapacitated. You beat Dwight like the rented mule he is, and then you take on Negan at your leisure.
Sure.
I'm saying, like, that was almost in Daryl's grasp.
Beat Fat Joey while you're at it too.
Beat Fat Joey,
him.
sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we end the episode with Dwight going out and seeing a new guy on the wall, and it's the whiny blue shirt guy.
Yep.
With the dead wife who needs to be dug up now, I guess.
I guess so.
Because he didn't shoot him in the head. Because I thought when we first saw it, he shot him in the head. It turned out he shot him between the shoulder blades. Not enough to kill a zombie. So just enough to make one. And that's the episode.
All right. I have more questions at the end of it than I have answers, but...
Yeah. Like, I felt like... and this is different in last week in that we learned a lot about the kingdom. It was new. We were introduced to a lot of new characters that we didn't know about and got their backstories. This is essentially a story about Dwight and Daryl that we knew almost all the facts.
Yeah, seems like it.
Like, once I saw Dwight and his wife in the compound, I quickly pieced together what had happened to them since the greenhouse fire incident. So I don't know. I was really frustrated and frankly bored through a lot of this episode. Hopefully next week we get back to Alexandria, because that's the other thing. The consequence of going to the kingdom, which I thought worked, and then to Negan's compound, was that we put off resolution of Alexandria for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, like, I was really high on that episode. Now that's like 3 weeks in the past. We'll see if it works when we go back and everybody's still whining and moping and crying. Anyway, that's all I got.
We got a sponsor this week, and you're probably familiar with them. It's Harry's.com. They are the purveyor of fine shaving products, and I'm actually a proponent of them. I use them personally, have been for some years now, and I like the experience because, A, it's a real good shave. They've got good razors. They're German engineered. They are
Javo.
They built the factory. They shut down the old German engineered factory and said, we need better razors. I don't know if they did any of this, but it sounds good.
There's Italian engineered blades, and like, what the hell?
Right.
No, they need to...
We need the Germans in here.
Italian design, German engineering. That's what you need.
So they did all that, and then they pumped these things out for like half the price you would normally pay for razors in the store, which is phenomenal. I really have noticed like how much I'm saving on shaving. That's a good slogan for them.
Save it and shave it.
Save on a shave. Harrys.com. But I've been enjoying them for years. You really like their shaving cream?
Yeah, I got a wild hair this spring, and I decided to go about a month no beard, and I shaved every day with the razors, and I thought they were really comfortable to use. I was really impressed with their cream, And, I got way into high-end shaving a couple years back. Mm-hmm. And I'll put their cream up against any of the high-end shaving creams. I thought they were really nice. And I still use it, because even though I got the full beard, I still got to shave my cheeks and my neck.
Right.
Keep things looking trim.
Just did that today.
Yeah. Harry's has been taking care of my cheeks and my neck for some time now.
And they added a feature which I thought was missing from the first blades that they introduced to their second generation blades here, which is the trimmer blade, which is the single blade on the back that lets you get into the nooks and crannies.
Oh yeah,
all the good spots. And they added that to the razor recently, so they've got now a 5-blade razor with the trimmer blade. Pretty awesome. Right now they're doing a promotion where you can go to harrys.com. That's HARRYS.com, and you can enter the code BALDMOVE at checkout, and you get their trial set for free. All you have to do is pay the $3 shipping, and they also include the post-shave balm in that. So get a little extra bonus when you go there to harrys.com and use that code. I would recommend it. I think Aaron would recommend it as well.
I do. It's a good shave.
Do it. Okay, why don't we get into feedback?
Let's do it.
We start off with Barry C. from the UK. Says, so Daryl, he calls it a bottleneck episode. Is that... Is anybody drinking beers?
I like a bottleneck episode.
Yeah. Maggie at
it's a single point of failure.
Maggie at the Hilltop the week after. Heath and Tara on the road the week after that. Then maybe Father Gabriel, standalone episode after that.
Jesus.
Back to Ezekiel for a week, and then we can end the half season with Rick and the gang 15 minutes after Negan left them.
Get behind Gimple, Satan. We don't need any of this in his vision.
No, we don't. I hope that's not the route they take. But we'll see. JR and Indy says, I think they made a big mistake with Fear the Walking Dead and need to move to a different spin-off model. It needs to go more like True Detective or Fargo. Bring in one top-notch director or showrunner and say, this is your season. They could potentially get top-end actors, knowing that would be only for one season, 8 to 10 episodes. And it can be based on any time period of the story and anywhere. What's it like in Africa or Russia?
Call it like Tales of the Walking Dead. It's an anthology.
Yeah. Or Logan's Run style in Japan, where once you hit 50, you have to be killed because everyone is infected and we can't take any chances of you dying in your sleep. All right, that's a bit harsh. Or even a mini 3-arc series of a single person watching all hell go down in New York City while sitting in their penthouse with binoculars or a telescope. I think it would be fascinating to see Quentin Tarantino or the Double Ds or any number of talented people, what they could do with a turn at the helm. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's what World War Z should have been. Like, they should have made that into a show and gone to all these different places and explored all these stories instead of the just boilerplate bullshit that movie was.
Well, that movie had nothing to do with World War Z.
Right.
Literally.
The book World War Z is essentially that, which is they jump around to all these different places and they see, like, the beginning of the outbreak or years after it's happened.
Right.
It's a really interesting structure for that story, and it gives you a lot of glimpses into how different types of people reacted to this scenario. Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I got my problems with the World War Z, the novel myself, but I mean, Tales of the Walking Dead would be pretty cool. And I don't even know if you need to stay with it for a season. Like, it would be neat if it was like a Tales from the Dark Side, where it's all set in the Walking Dead universe, but every week you could explore like a really interesting or fucked up or even humorous scenario going on. But yeah, Fear, like, because it's always depressing when I see the climax of the story that they began in the Fear the Walking Dead, and like, man, like, what are you even doing? You're making a short story that you're filming during the Fear the Walking Dead to entice people to keep, like, if anything, you need to start that in The Walking Dead and then finish it in Fear the Walking Dead to try to get people to watch that, because I've seen Fear the Walking Dead's numbers. They're not terrible, but they're not great. They're not anywhere near as strong as... It's just such a weird thing. It's such a weird...
Yeah.
And like, so unengaging. Like, I didn't give a shit last year about the plane crash storyline. And I was there from the beginning because I watched Fear the Walking Dead season 1. I don't know who they're making this for.
Yeah.
Like, take whatever money you're spending on that and give it back to the production.
Yeah, it feels like it's for the diehards who are just watching everything Walking Dead.
But they're going to watch it anyway.
Sure, but it's... Yeah. Yeah, as a hook, I don't know, because I don't watch Fear the Walking Dead, or Fear
And
the
most of
Walking
the
Dead, so I
problems
was
with The
lost.
Walking Dead, I think, could be solved by giving the production more money.
Sure, yeah. Becca has some comments about a pomegranate and the symbolism and all sorts of stuff. So she says, I have previously learned some further history and symbolism to the pomegranate, which may be relevant. I heard that the calyx, the little stem nubby thing at one end of the pomegranate, is said to be the inspiration for the crown of King Solomon. If you look at it from the side, the calyx has that traditional sort of cliche pointed crown shape. It has also been the symbol of kings and queens for years. The Plantagenets.
When I think of
Royal
calyx,
House
I
of
think
England.
of really awesome bookshelves from IKEA.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Spelled differently, but
okay.
but more useful, I'd say. They use the pomegranate as their symbol. Granada is also an important city in the history of Christianity, and the pomegranate's history seems to be deeply entwined with religion, specifically the history and development of Catholicism and Christianity. Instead of the traditional fertility, death, other symbolism of the fruit, it may be being used here just to symbolize Ezekiel's kingship, or perhaps a sort of religion forming around him. We've also had some people write in and say...
Is pomegranate like a stereotypically royal fruit, too?
Yeah, she says the Plantagenets, which is a royal house of England in the 13 and 1400s, use the pomegranate as their symbol.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like last week we talked about how is essentially the Greek fruit of the dead, which obviously if you have that and then a royal connotation, there you go. There's Ezekiel.
Yeah, and we did have some people write in and say like the pomegranates were kind of the inspiration for grenades. I guess I don't know.
Really?
That's what they said. I did not verify any of that.
I thought high explosives were the...
Well, the shape. The
okay.
People saw a pomegranate and said, wouldn't it be awesome if this blew up? I don't know, man.
Lodge seeds deep in the hearts of our enemies, killing them dead. Yeah. That might be true.
So there's some pomegranate information for you. Josh F. says, I want to touch on the Ezekiel realistic ruling these people in the manner he does, and Carol turning her nose up at him. I don't think that his Arthurian king act really matters at the end of the day. If Rick spoke in an old English accent and called his people subjects and knights, would it really matter that much to the people he's leading? At least as long as that's what they've always known him as, not just something he randomly started doing.
He's already using one fakey bizarre accent, so
true.
What's another?
Yeah. Says they are a self-sustaining community who produces enough food for at least 2 communities, and they keep their people relatively safe, and they've got pomegranates. Sure, people have died under Ezekiel's rule, but every leader in the world has lost people tragically. Carol turning her nose up at it is kind of illogical to me. Her own community is in dire shape. Well, is that her community anymore?
That's the point, too, right? The fact
she doesn't want to be part of a community.
Yeah. Not only that, but a community that's based on this like sing-songy fiction. That's like you're right. It's hard to argue with the results, but for Carol to wrap her head around that like LARPing style of community, I don't think it's like, she was threatening a 6-year-old with screaming death by zombie.
Right.
Like I can see her like very much does not compute trying to rationalize all that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, he says, I think the Renaissance fair thing they have going on both serves as some comic relief as well as serving the purpose of portraying all of the different masks these people put on to survive, especially those in leadership roles. Even Negan at the other end of the spectrum is just a character that he created to incite fear and respect in the sheep he likely believes he's shepherding into the new world. Yeah, that's fair. And I guess, do these people... So do you think these people actually think that that's who Ezekiel is? The accent,
that's the thing. Like I remember saying, like, I wish I could see how many of these people are just going along with this because, well, Ezekiel is the leader that is working, and I don't want to fuck up the magic. Like, how many people actually buy into this whole king routine? How many people are just going
like
along, and how many people, like, is there like a middle class or just like actually buys into it and does feel like how much of the stuff that he was saying about his routine working is actually why it's working?
Right.
The other thing, man, I kept on thinking as I was watching this episode how cool it would be to compare and contrast these two ruling styles. Mm-hmm. Like if they, instead of these being standalone episodes, if they entwined them, you could see everyone bowing before Negan, and then
right.
like,
one's a BLT, one's a shit sandwich.
Well, I mean, plus the Ezekiel being, saying that he's a king and inspiring all this loyalty from people and leading from the front versus, like, it would have been interesting to compare and contrast that within a single episode. Sure. And I'm surprised that no one in the writer's room said, hey, the structure, not only, I don't know.
Maybe they did.
I don't want to harp that. And Gimple's like, nope. Stick with the one story.
Yeah.
Keep feeding them the dog food. And the other thing is I could also see them getting way up their ass and be like, hey, to really understand Daryl's mental state, they need to go along this ride with him.
Right. They need to be naked and afraid.
And then 50 minutes later have zero character development because they're still in the spot they were in the first. So, yeah, fuck you guys. I don't know what you're doing.
All right.
Trying to defend you and it's got me nowhere. I'm going back to the hate. Letting it flow.
Yeah, stay in your wheelhouse, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
the place you live.
Got nothing but confused listeners the last 2 weeks. It's back to old school fire and brimstone Watching Dead.
Perfect. Nola B says, I think the character development for Morgan and Carol in episode 2 is largely a response to the fan criticism from last season. A lot of which came from us, I think. Morgan received a lot of hate for his extreme pacifism, so they are pivoting to a more middle of the road approach for him, where he has toned down the preaching. Fans of Rambo Carol were not pleased by her unraveling last season into a weepy character. This felt like a hard right turn for her that was not sufficiently explained. Yep, I agree with that. In the Kingdom, Carol has a chance to heal and rebuild a more nuanced outlook on the world. What do you guys think? Are Morgan and Carol in character rehab, where the show is resolving the problems with their characters from last season?
Can I have a slightly different option?
Yeah, sure.
I think this was their intended arc all along. Just The Walking Dead fucking drags its feet about everything, which leaves them open to the accusation. Like,
right,
that's a fairly compelling arc if it happens in a single half season.
Right.
When you stretch it over 18 months...
And if it happens in a slightly more believable way. Too.
Right. Well, yeah. I think that makes it more believable, too. If things like extreme events happen and push people's belief systems and, but when it gets dribbled out over the course of 24 episodes, that's rough. And when you come back from a whole year off being off season, like, people are going to start accusing you of like, oh, you're just fucking course correcting. Whereas if you had the confidence to tell this in some kind of timely fashion, well, because I kind of suspect that they always wanted them to round out into this shape because
I'm with
knowing
you
the overall story structure, I see how all these different points of view are going to be interesting going forward. Mm-hmm. But damn, they take their sweet time getting these things put into place.
I don't know that I think taking your sweet time is that bad of a thing, as long as there are other things going on that are interesting and compelling, and they're not. The problem I saw was they dumped a fucking bucket of it on us every single episode. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like they dribbled out these breadcrumbs to lead us down this path. They just fucking doused us in it every single episode, and we got tired of it immediately.
And even in this single episode, it's a microcosm of the overall problem, which is like they're doing the measured approach where you could do a lot of show not tell, but then they fucking can't help but tell you anyway.
Right.
Like, here comes the big old bucket, They
get impatient. They want to, get it all out there on the screen, and then they have nothing left for the other 8 episodes they've got to do.
Right. And it punishes the people that have picked up on it, and it rewards the people that aren't paying attention, and those people can go on Reddit and figure out what the fuck things meant after the show's over with anyway. I don't know. It's
and it encourages people not to pay attention, because you don't have to. I mean, it's not what this show is, I guess.
Right.
So, going on to Andrew's email, he says, during this week's podcast, one of you mentioned that, and he's talking about last week, one of you mentioned that maybe you had gained a reputation as a podcast that hates The Walking Dead, or hates on it. Perhaps this is true, and whilst I think you are generally fair in your criticisms, I think this reputation has meant you receive a disproportionate amount of negative criticism about the show compared to what the average viewer feels. Mm-hmm. I normally find the criticism interesting as it allows me to the chance to consider an alternate point of view. However, can we just call out the I'm Doners? No one actually believes that these people are going to stop watching, do they? They just sound like spoiled children having a tantrum because that naughty Mr. Kirkman didn't do what they wanted.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so these are Andrew's words.
Put them on Easy Street.
I think they believe by saying they're done with the show, the writers panicked at the thought of losing a tiny amount of the 17 million viewers they have will somehow hear of it and start writing plots that are more acceptable to their expert opinions. and he's going to make a reference that I don't understand in any way. Here in England, my football team, Arsenal, has a very vocal online presence. Much like The Walking Dead, the team generally does well, but has the ability to fuck things up spectacularly every now and then.
Sure.
The online discourse was immense last season, with what appeared to be 80% of the fans demanding that our manager be sacked after 19 years on the job.
It's a long time on the job.
He likens that to a showrunner. And he said, it seemed like every man with a laptop could do a better job than our manager. The media and the online forums made a huge deal that there was going to be a fan protest at the next home game. When the day came, only about 200 in the crowd of 60,000 protested, and they were quickly shouted down by the majority. It was an interesting snapshot of how the online negativity wasn't representative of the wider fan base. Many matchday fans weren't even aware there was going to be a protest because they just turn up at a game, watch it, and then go talk to their mates at the pub about it for a couple hours. They don't consume every article on the game for the next few days and all that stuff. He says, the I'm Doners have made it through 6 seasons of the show, obviously enjoy it enough to listen to podcasts and then discuss it and care about it, to email these podcasts so they can comment on the show. By all means, have an opinion, but please stop the silly threats because we don't believe you.
There's definitely people that do leave, and some people come back, and some people say that they've heard it's been good again, and they come back. But I think that's an internet phenomenon, because think how many people have you seen to just stop using Facebook versus how many people flounce?
Right.
Flouncing is a real thing. Like, if you got an online community and someone's not happy with the way they're going, you could just leave, or you could have the dramatic, this is my last post, and I want to tell you why you're not going to see me. Because everyone wants that kind of, like, closure. They want to affect change. They want to feel like people are going to be like, oh, no, please don't, and then a lot of times they get, bye, Felicia.
Right.
But I understand all those motivations, but I do feel like that the ratings have borne out the fact that the for a long time The Walking Dead was shrinking, and it's kind of come roaring back in these last few episodes. How much of that was because people did want to see who died, and then is that going to be long term sustainable if they continue the same things that drove people away?
Well, I do feel like he's got a point, given the ratings, because part of that ratings bump could just be people who said they were going to leave and never did, said they were going to leave before and then came back.
As also I see it in a lot of critics, like that Vox article I was reading is about a guy who thinks this might be the last season because he's been covering this for 7 seasons. I've seen...
He's wrong. He's dead.
Alan Sepinwall checked out last year. Bill Simmons...
Oh, might be his personal last season.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these people are like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to threaten... and I would never say this is my last season. If I did, it would be like, you'd come back and there would be no more seasons of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, we've done that with shows.
But I guess it's the frustration of this show could so easily be in that upper echelon of shows. Like, people get frustrated when you compare it to Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. There's no reason a show about zombies can't be every bit as critically acclaimed as a show about fucking dragons.
Right.
And shadow babies and bullshit glass swords and stuff. Like, that's phenomenally stupid and silly. But they've made it great because they've injected a lot of real world, angst and political drama and all that stuff. And you can tell adult stories in these fantastic universes. Walking Dead chooses not to.
Yeah.
And that is a source of consternation to a lot of people, because it's certainly, again, going back to fucking Darabont days, it's time to do that again. I haven't done that this season. This show was supposed to be a boutique serious drama on AMC, every bit as serious as Mad Men and Breaking Bad, except set in The Walking Dead. And we haven't fucking got the show to live up to that promise.
Yeah,
it comes close.
We never will.
You get an episode or two, but I mean, it's like we're fatalistic about it. I don't understand why it can't be.
Well,
it's got the money, it's got the ratings, it's got
right. It's because no one making the show cares about it being that anymore because it has the ratings and the money.
Yeah,
that's what this show is now. And I mean, you're either gonna love it, you're gonna hate it, you're gonna fall somewhere in between, but don't expect this show to change.
It just seems easy to me to think that if you spent some more money in the management and the writer's room, that you would get a show that you'd keep the audience, the people just watching for the action, but then you would gain the prestige of winning Emmys, and you'd gain critical people like the critical buzz of like the top critics always talking about it,
right.
and people saying, "Oh, it's not my guilty pleasure; it's just my fucking pleasure." I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like you could get a bigger audience, but
maybe, or you'd
there
turn
again,
off the people who like it for what it is, and
there
then
again,
lose your audience.
What was the highest ratings that Breaking Bad ever got?
Right,
6 million.
Yeah.
Mad Men got 4 at its height. Walking Dead still is getting 15 plus. So.
Yeah. No, there's no reason for them to change.
Fuck me, disregard. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Unless they want Andrew Lincoln to win an Emmy, they don't care about changing.
Yeah, it's a bummer though because I don't know. It feels like there's a way to serve both. Breaking Bad had plenty of hoity-toity people doing in-depth, and they had plenty of people just wanting to see dudes getting shot up and blown up and dissolved in acid.
That's true.
They had a way to keep both of those fans engaged because it was a well-rounded, awesome show.
Okay. Let's move on to John. I mean, we're still in the last episode. I had a bunch of feedback this week.
All right.
John says, I'm sure this has been pointed out by now, but in the Well episode, you couldn't decide whether Ezekiel was referring to Martin Luther King Jr. or just Martin Luther. I believe you missed something in Ezekiel's delivery. He says that he's played many kings in his day. Arthur, Macbeth, Martin Luther. He says the last name with a slight smirk. So I take that as a clever way of saying Martin Luther King, which his beliefs seem to line up more with with King Jr. than Martin Luther as well. Yeah, I totally missed.
Obvious.
I
totally obvious.
Completely missed that, but
I did a bad job. I'm just criticizing the Gimple, and here I shit the bed on my own podcast.
Right.
I'm chagrined.
All right, Dexter says, hey guys, have you seen the uncensored Negan scene at the end of season 6?
What?
Yeah, where he drops the F-bomb. Also, they said they're going to do an uncensored Negan for the Blu-ray in most of his scenes in season 7. And I guess he included a link which I didn't watch because I had seen some of this stuff before. But yeah, what do you think about that? They're going to have filmed a lot of scenes with him dropping actual F-bombs and other scenes with him saying Pea Pants City, that type of stuff.
I don't get what's going on with basic cable right now because I'm watching 2 shows on FX. The same fucking network. They have the same airtime. One is Donald Glover's Atlanta, where motherfucker and fucker during the broadcast, unbleeped, they just do it all the time. Dropping N-bombs, dropping C-bombs. American Horror Story, ostensibly a show about people being beheaded and gutted, and they still bleep their F-bombs.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, it makes no, like, is this a, and then, like, the same guy who, Ryan Murphy made an American Crime Story about O.J. Simpson had unbleeped F-bombs and plenty of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back and makes American Horror Story. It's like, is it about advertising? Is this some experiment that we're doing? Like, I mean, I guess that's cool to get an unfiltered Negan experience on the Blu-ray, but I don't understand why we're not getting it on the air. Like, everyone says advertisers, but, like, fucking Atlanta doesn't seem like it's having problems selling ads. I know American Horror Story doesn't, and certainly O.J. Simpson didn't. Like, what? And that's all on the same network. I don't get it, man. What do you think?
No, I'm with you. I don't understand it either. Like, I know I'm an adult. I can handle F-bombs. I know there are some people out there who don't want to hear them.
They sure don't.
But I don't know what to tell you. You're an adult. If your
8-year-old's watching The Walking Dead and you don't want them to hear the F word, like, your
8-year-old probably shouldn't be watching The Walking Dead.
I mean, or you've got some other bullshit cultural reason for thinking the F-bomb is worse than seeing someone disemboweled.
Right.
Sorry. That's my opinion, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Michael S. says, emailing you guys because Walking Dead really pissed me off in the second episode, and I don't think you guys talked about it in your podcast. Carol was shot in the arm and leg in the season finale, and I think they only said 2 days went by.
Right.
She was in a wheelchair at the beginning of the episode and walking fine at the end. Arm was lightly wrapped, but she was using it with ease to move a wheelchair. I think The Walking Dead forgot about this, and so did everyone else. Man, I can't point out every mistake of this show.
Well, you did on the live watch. You were like really harping on that, and I'm like,
and then I forgot to talk about it in the main cast.
Right, and I was kind of like, well, come on, man, we don't know how long time has passed. And then they
say
2 days, like, well, fuck us. But yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if we come back and find that Daryl was in the cell for 2 days.
Right,
and it damn near broke him.
Right. Because that's the thing. Like I was
could do
mentioning,
2 days in the cell. Come on.
I was mentioning like this book I read where they had some Soviet era spy that they're trying to break, and one of the techniques they did is they put him in a dark cell and they got him up like his sleep schedule is completely random. They'd lie about how they'd lace his food with caffeine and then lie about how long it's been since they opened the door and what it's like, get up, you fool. It's in the middle of the day and it's really in the middle of the night, just as a way to like completely fuck you mentally. And like I thought maybe they're doing that. So it could be this is all happening in 2 or 3 days. Like, Easy Street being once a day seems not much of a torture. Whereas if it's happening all the time in unpredictable, variable lengths of time, that's more.
Yeah, but like I've stayed up for 2 days. I didn't
eating Alpo sandwiches.
I didn't feel like changing my outlook on life.
Yeah,
I was just like, damn, I'm tired.
No, I get it. Like 2 days to break Daryl, it should be in much longer than that. And to be fair, he's not broken, so we could have 4 more episodes like this. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Okay, we're going a different direction here with Tony's email. He says, "Every chance I get to see Daryl tortured makes me smile. Call me an asshole, but I love to see him suffer. After what happened with Glenn, I want more of this." So he's real pissed about the Glenn thing.
Still not learned his lesson too. So
that's fair. Mark M says, "Could Negan please just beat Daryl to death already? He's such a boring, one-dimensional character. He's unbearable. He's basically the average viewer's ideal of moral perfection, and it's driving me crazy."
Yeah, I don't know. He's got some ethical challenges here with how things are going down at Negan's compound and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's playing the game as effectively as he thinks he is, though.
Indeed.
I guess Yahoo emailed us. No, it's somebody from Yahoo, and it was just their email address, and I didn't want to give it. So Yahoo emailed us and said, "My biggest issue right now with the show is a simple one. In this world, does America only include the states of Georgia and Virginia? I could be wrong, but I believe there are 48 more states. Why the heck would they just wait around and let Negan mess with them? Why didn't Two-Face and his wife, who probably has a wonderful personality, take off to South Carolina or, I don't know, Montana? Why won't Rick's group just leave and get as far as possible from Negan? What am I missing here?"
Well, I mean,
it's difficult to travel.
Rick's group's gone all over the world, or they've gone from the Midwest to the East Coast, and all points in between has been filled with dirty, filthy, terrible people.
Sure. What makes you think it'd be any different
here
in Montana?
At Alexandria, you got hot water and electricity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of fatalism here.
Well, there's also a very serious risk of travel. I mean,
also,
you don't
Dwight
have the supplies.
And his crew of dumb fucks wouldn't have made it through that episode hadn't it been for Daryl.
What episode? Oh, the Woods episode.
Yeah, Dwight's not the Dwight we see now. Dwight was like he was a broom pushing point earner. Like he probably didn't have a lot of combat experience, and I don't know.
He's trying to sell his shirt for food.
I think you're just supposed to understand that if you've been on the outside and then you get on the inside, no matter how bad the inside is, it's better than the outside.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of buy it. I think it's a hard life on the outside, and it's easier on the inside.
Easy street, would you say?
I'd say not quite as difficult street. It's not as quippy, but it's more accurate. Jackie says, "Some thoughts on the cell." Finally, we get to this episode. The first episode of this season shows Negan effectively break Rick's spirit. In fact, that's pretty much what the whole premiere was about. Negan seemed quite perceptive, correctly diagnosing Rick as having a little fight left in him after Abe's death, after Glenn's death, and after that whole Zombies in the Mist ordeal, right up until Carl's arm was in peril.
Right.
However, 2 episodes later, it appears Negan's not really good at this game at all. His right-hand man, Dwight, and his wife, Sherry, transparently loathe him. They're obedient in the short term, but they do a poor job of pretending that, given the right opportunity, they wouldn't both stab Negan in the back. And now he's trying mental and physical abuse, isolation, and dog food sandwiches on Daryl Dixon, childhood abuse survivor, loner, and squirrel and roadkill diet aficionado. And surprise, Daryl won't say he's Negan any more than Picard would say there are 5 lights.
You think Negan's giving him anything worse than Merle did? Fuck no. Merle had he had the branding irons out and putting cigarettes out on him. Like, come on.
Yeah, and for years.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
And when Daryl was in a more fragile state. I mean, come on. Is Negan's goal to fill his entire circle with people who can't even act loyal to him, or is this just bad writing? And what's with the writer's endgame here? I'm assuming they're showing us Daryl naked, shivering, and smeared with yak poop or whatever, in the hopes that it will be super satisfying when he inevitably rises from the dust and smites the shit out of Negan. I submit that we'd cheer louder if Negan wasn't kind of bad at being the bad guy.
Yeah, it's too bad because I feel like it's weird because I described this plot's pace as plotting, but also like we learned facts about Dwight at warp speed that I think makes Negan look foolish by the way they presented the data. It wasn't a slow burn and a slow reveal. Like, you know, if at the first few episodes we think that everything's going cool in Dwight's life, and we progressively reveal that, oh shit, his wife is now a wife of Negan, and oh shit, he's a
if he was a better actor around Negan, like if he could sell it better to Negan,
sure,
not necessarily to us,
right,
but to Negan.
Yeah, no, I mean the show's got to be like I just think the show has no confidence in us as the viewer, man.
Yeah,
like subtlety is just going to be lost on us.
To
be fair, at this point, it might, because I'm not used to engaging that gear in my brain on the show.
Yeah. So Michael G in Seattle asks, "Do we think Negan is insane?"
I don't.
I don't either.
I think he's cynical as hell, and I don't know what kind of damage he's had, like, you know, what his post-apocalyptic experience is, but I think he is. And I wish the show did a better job of portraying him as kind of like an evil genius.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a genius. I don't necessarily even think he's evil in the classic sense of the word. But who is? I don't know.
Do you have any opinions on what Negan's job might have been before the zombie apocalypse? My off the top of my head was manager at a smoothie shop in the mall. An Orange Julius stand.
I was trying to think of like, you know, some kind of non 1%er bike gang, motorcycle gang.
Uber driver,
yeah, sure.
That's what
sure.
Michael says.
Lumberjack.
Yeah, let's go to
minor league baseball player. What if that's what it was? He was like a shortstop on
It's like Razor Shines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I think you nailed it. You hit it out of the park on that one. MBF in Portland says, "I'm sure your mailbag is full of people wishing the show had gone back to Rick and Alexandria by now. And realizing that I may be in the minority here, I wanted to offer an opposing take.
All right.
I was one of the folks who loved the premiere, not the shit show that was the season 6 finale who got the bat fuckery, but specifically the season 7 premiere as a single episode and a start to a new chapter for The Walking Dead."
All right, I'm with you. I'm 100% on your board.
Me too. As soon as I finished watching, I assumed the show would take 1 or 2 episode break from showing the fallout with the main group. Not only is it keeping with The Walking Dead's MO, but to me it felt right from a storytelling perspective. After something as impactful as the events of 701, as a viewer, perhaps like the characters, I wanted and needed time to process, grieve, and distance myself from the horror that took place there. I needed to stew and think about what comes next. The Walking Dead has pulled some wonky pacing shit in the past that I don't think worked, but I would argue that taking a break from Rick and company after 701 was actually a strength. They're returning next week for a 90-minute episode that looks like it will focus almost entirely on Alexandria.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just now feeling ready to see those things unfold. Those are my 2 cents. Would love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, obviously, if you listen to our podcast, I was on board for keeping away from it for even another episode, even though I was saying, ooh, this was compelling, but boy, wouldn't it have been better if we were visiting all these and you know, getting all these different perspectives and also looking ahead at the schedule, knowing how fragmented this group is, like this could fucking take all season to get, you know, visiting to the Tara and what's going on with Maggie and Sasha and, you know, I don't know. So I was on board for them to get a little bit of distance, but I feel like there's too much distance. And also this particular episode felt like way too little plot spread over way too much episode.
Yeah, I guess so. But
I feel where you're coming from anyway.
Jason from Mississippi says, this episode was bad, really bad. For a lot of reasons, I'll try to use points so you can and choose what you want out of the email. This episode was really bad. If some of this were sprinkled in episodes throughout the season, I wouldn't dislike the story so much.
There you go.
The Walking Dead has to make episodes about a single story, and we're stuck with this shit. Daryl and Dwight's relationship feels really unnatural to me. Also, them trying to show us Dwight has yearnings to rise against Negan or betray him reads extremely forced to me. Even by the end of it, he did. No, I can't parse that sentence. Sorry. He was not a fan. In short, I wanted to include some I'm opposing opinions because a lot of people did like this episode.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think I don't know about it being forced so much as just, again, curiously plotting pace, but warp speed. I mean, I guess this is the way Dwight's always felt, but I felt like from a storytelling standpoint, it'd be better for us as the viewer to progressively have that dawn upon us rather than just being literally shoved down our throat.
Like a dog food sandwich.
Like a shit sandwich.
Ashley wrote in with a few paragraphs essentially saying a lot of the main characters in The Walking Dead actors in The Walking Dead have expressed that they are thinking of the exit strategy, specifically Andrew Lincoln. Chandler Riggs has stated he wants to go to college, and I think he got accepted to a college very recently.
Really?
And I guess
that's a problem.
Yeah, and Denai Guerrera has also said she would probably want to go too. Chandler Riggs has also said he wouldn't want to be on the show if Andrew Lincoln wasn't there. So
Jesus Christ, this is a big problem for the end game of, as I understand it, for The Walking Dead.
Right. So Ashley says, I haven't really seen any of the other actors address this, so I'm not sure what their long-term plans look like. But without Rick, Carl, and Michonne, what does this show turn into? I know people love Daryl, Carol, and even Negan, but can they carry The Walking Dead?
And is Norman Reedus going to do this forever? I mean,
I don't know.
He's got other things, other irons in the fire. I don't know. Like, I guess I've been putting this out of my head, but that's kind of frightening.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter a lot of people were talking about Chandler Riggs getting accepted to a college.
I mean, there's nothing precluding the fact that you can do both.
You can. It's hard,
especially if you're a kid that's got millions in the bank right now.
Right.
I think,
or you could go the Claire Danes route and just cut out your acting career while you're going to college.
Or Natalie Portman did the same thing, didn't she?
Right. I think so. Yeah.
So I mean, but the problem with that is, I've often said that so long as the thing that keeps me coming back to The Walking Dead is the relationship between Rick and his son Carl, and if that went away. And the fact that, like, I think Andrew Lincoln does the most consistent human work on this show, boy, that would be a rough sale for this person. I don't know. I wouldn't be limited, but I feel like when I look at the other Fear the Walking Dead main cast, and some of those guys have done good work and interesting work in other things, but boy, it's just such a downgrade and across the board of writing and acting and everything. And I guess my fear would be the AMC would literally just go into cash cow mode and milk that thing until it's got no milk left in its bony body.
Just bring in Paul Giamatti to replace Carl. Just cast him as the new Carl. Flash forward.
Get him an eye patch.
40 years.
Maybe take a couple. Maybe take an arm off. Maybe take two.
An armless Paul Giamatti. Just flapping his
keep
stubs
the cowboy
in the wind.
hat. Got to keep the cowboy hat.
So he has to have someone help him put the cowboy hat on?
No, he's got he flips it up with his feet.
Oh.
Yep.
He's had time to work on that.
He's got really good toe skill.
Yeah, flash forward 40 years, Paul Giamatti as Carl with no arms, and I think you got yourself a hit.
Yep, he's wielding the python with his feet.
All right, let's move on to Brian from Maryland. I wanted to write in with my 2 cents on the episode. I'm really confused on how long Daryl was in his cell. I would think it would have to be weeks, if not months, to get Daryl in his current stage, and for Negan, or current state, and for Negan to even think he could be brainwashed enough to be trusted to be let out of the cell.
He's even calling it's the slow method. So, like, I feel like we're definitely talking about weeks rather than days. But again, we don't really know.
He says, kind of a lot like we were talking about earlier. I think this would have worked much better as a 10 to 15 minute check-in over the course of the half season. Keep the plots more in sync. Again, The Walking Dead is terrible on pacing. Next week, we are going to join Rick and company the very day it happened, which should be weeks in the past from the last 2 episodes. Of course, both Carol and Daryl plot lines could have taken 2 days with this show. I actually like the episode. I just think the pacing is way off. Yeah, I agree with you. Josh F. says, I don't think that Negan has threatened Daryl or implied that he's going to go to Alexandria and kill his other friends if he doesn't submit. It's the opposite. Daryl is a prisoner, in part as a chip to threaten Rick and company with. Plus, Negan sees the value in a guy like Daryl, and he's a trophy if he can break him. I really don't agree with that. I think it works both ways.
I think that's one of those points that sounds pretty good and like, okay, but then you're right.
The
it doesn't
truth of the
have
matter
to be
is,
all one way or the other.
Right. It is a two-way street there.
Yeah.
He's kind of got him between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
There's nothing they can do. And Daryl doesn't seem to acknowledge that and is defiant of that idea, and he needs to pay for it.
Foolishly defiant.
Yeah. All right, so that is all the feedback. I don't know if you had anything for spoiler section, but I think I'm going to save those emails for maybe a future episode.
Yeah, it was pretty. I had some light energies, mostly complaining about them pacing the Dwight stuff. So probably, yeah, let's skip the spoilers this week.
All right. How can people contact us with more feedback?
WatchingDead at baldmove.com, forums.baldmove.com, and also don't forget to check out save.baldmove.com if that's the kind of thing you'd be interested in being involved in, saving Bald Move.
Okay.
We certainly are personally invested in the concept. Hope you are too. Save.baldmove.com.
All right, and we will see you guys next week. Until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. Bye.